Morning. Yeah, so just on my break now in work, little half an hour chill out. 15, 16 months ago, I'd be over in them woods now over there, having a spliff, because I made that part of my routine. You know, I got to a point with it, you know, trying it when I was a kid at 14, when I was 16 to 18, kicking in on it properly. You know, by the time I was in my 20s, mid-20s, even though I've always worked and I've always trained, I was a full-time 24-hour smoker. You know, I've lost relationships through it and things like that. And because I prioritised that and I allowed it to consume me. I'm not saying it consumes everyone. Basically, you know, if you're looking on coming off the weed, they say it takes 21 to 30 days to break a habit. So I done that, you know, when I first started getting off it. 30 days, and they say it resets your dopamine. I found it was a bit longer than that. You know, it's heavy, especially the first 2 to 3 weeks. You know, it's like you're in child mode again. You start having tantrums, you know, feeling sorry for yourself. And that's part of your dopamine receptors in your brain. Because when you're smoking weed, obviously you're getting that hit of dopamine. Then after years, months and years of doing it, you're not getting that same buzz off it anymore. That's where, for me, I'm not saying for everyone, that's where for me it become addictive. You know, and then it comes to a point where I ain't even enjoying it no more. Like, I used to think, oh, it alleviates my anxiety. I can only speak for myself, you know. Me personally, it made my anxiety worse. And there's no actually scientific studies yet. There's medicinal purposes of it, like people with eating disorders and, you know, who are going through, you know, heavy stuff. Yeah, there's medicinal uses for it, but there's no actually long-term studies that it actually benefits mental health in any way. Like, say if I'm not saying I am, but if you're suffering with depression or ADHD, they've done studies on it to see if it cures them things. And what they found is really, from the stuff I've read, it only cures it short term. You know, long term, it's going to, especially if you've got ADHD. ADHD is like a dopamine deficiency thing. You know, you're just constantly going to be chasing that buzz. Yeah, it might alleviate your symptoms in the short term, but in the long term, it's not going to do any, you know, anything good for you. That's just from my personal experience. Also, as well, it messes with your reward receptors. That's part, obviously, your dopamine. I'm not a scientist. These are just things that I've found personal. You know, it's like you can't enjoy nothing in the end without weed. This is where that point where I got to it. You can't enjoy, like, going for a meal with your family, little things, you know, walking on the beach with your dog, things like that, going to the park with your dog, taking your kids out, stuff like that. You think, oh, I can't wait to get home for a spliff, can't wait to do, you know, everything evolves around weed. That's what, when you come to a point where, you know, in full 24-hour smoking mode, that's where I got with it. I was going to the gym and I'd be rushing my workouts, like, I can't wait to get home and have a drink. When you get to a point like that with it, it's no good. So I'd recommend, especially if you're like late teens, early 20s, you know, don't even start it. Don't even get into it. It's not worth it, honest. It's more to life. Like on Sunday, for example, my ma and my sister are going out for Mother's Day. Now, they're going out with the family, you know, family of girls, the nan and all, things like that, like a girls' day out. So me and my half fella will go for a scran together, go for an Indian or something like that. You know, little blowout day. Now, years ago, I'd have been like, oh, you know, I've got to have a spliff before, or I'd have took a spliff with me. That's not enjoying, like, the time with your family, though. So I'll go there with my half for a Sunday, drug-free, alcohol-free, and I'll enjoy my time with him. I'll be present there for him. We'll have a nice chat, better conversation. Just better all around. As I say, I'm speaking as a 32-year-old man. It does get better, you know, if you're looking on coming off at 30 days. Do a dopamine fast. Anyway, I'll see you later. Take it easy. Have a nice day. I'm looking a bit rough, like. Been up since half 4, like. See you later.